A video clip from an Olden Lane team meeting. Things are evolving quickly, almost daily. What's the message at the moment to our clients and prospects?
What I see is a period of time, call it the next 3 to 6 months, where Olden Lane can get very close with clients because they're going to need help. A lot of them need help. And it's a holistic help, right? It's everything from what are you doing on the funding side? What does your capital side look like? Are you really going to be a going concern, or can we have a truthful conversation about whether you should merge into someone else? Those conversations, if people trust us and will have those conversations with us, they're going to end up on the backside of that in a much better place than if they hide under a shell and deny where they are. So the faster that people get to honesty about their own situation and then trust us as an advisor to work with them to look at the full suite of potential solutions, I think that's where we can bring value. It's not, a product. It's not a specific solution. It's honestly looking at their position and tailoring it to their needs. So we're seeing a lot of folks who are interested in low income designation. And if you haven't really done the homework on your low income designation, you have to, because it provides you 3 separate regulatory reliefs that you can only get with that designation. So if you don't know whether you can qualify or not, like, shame on you, and get to doing the work. And Eli can do that work. He's doing 5 or 6 of them right now. He's running those. That's not, anything other than us being able to parse through data and help credit unions understand where they are. But if they come out and they are qualifying as a low income designated credit union, you have to go get that designation because it opens up avenues to you and extends your toolbox. That's something that, doesn't really occur to most folks. And when it does, honestly, it's one of those things that always falls to the back of the list. It doesn't have to, because it doesn't take a lot of work from the credit union. Honestly, it just takes them dropping a file on Eli and Eli working his magic. So that's one thing I would tell everybody that's not do that. The second thing is have an honest conversation with you, your board, your management, your advisors around your funding needs, around really where you stand in terms of your ability to organically create funding and your external sources. Do you have all of those sources that are available to you that you need? Are there others you could tap? Are you testing them? Do you understand their potential sensitivity to price? That's another suite of things that has got to be front and center on everybody's mind, as liquidity is really a persistent issue and will be for some time. You have to understand the costs of that funding. Your cost of funds are going up significantly. That has pretty dramatic ramifications across your business. It goes to how fast you're repricing your loans. It goes to how much you can earn on investments and how fast those investments are turning over. It goes to your understanding of investment losses that you may be carrying. And we can help with any and all of those things. We can do analysis around what your investment portfolio looks like, where you may be able to sell out of positions and find additional yield shorter on the curve, doing away with some duration risk and getting yourself to a safer place, if you will. So that's a whole other suite of things we can work with you on. And then I think, as Dan has pointed out a number of times, the M&A market is going to get very, very interesting here. There are certain things, certain complexities that are very difficult to deal with unless you get to scale. And there are certain balance sheets that folks have that can be married up with the balance sheet of a neighbor and create a much more resilient enterprise going forward. And that can help the members of both institutions, which is the primary goal of the institution. It can also serve the needs of all the other stakeholders, management, honestly, the NCUA. It can avoid potential problems. Sometimes when 2 institutions are put together, they have a resiliency or a strength that's greater than the sum of the parts. And so where those opportunities are available, where it makes cultural, financial sense, those are the things we want to talk to clients about. So there's a lot to do. It is not as simple from our standpoint as pushing a product or pushing a single solution. But it requires a depth of knowledge and a breadth of knowledge that the experts here have. So we just want to be engaged with as many folks as we can that are serious about, doing the right thing for their enterprise going forward.
How is that message being received? Is the market open to this conversation?
It depends. Everybody comes at it from a different spot, right? Some of our guys know us well, and we can engage immediately in a very frank conversation and get to, the nitty gritty. And Dan's particularly good at that, and has been really testing that with a number of our accounts where there are sensitive conversations about their go forward strategy. And from our standpoint, you have to accelerate that. Like, we cannot spend time in the dance. It costs time, it costs energy, it costs focus. Talking about existential risk here. There really hasn't been this level of existential risk in this market for some time. But the easy choices have left the building. We're now in a high stakes game. And the things that you do as an organization here going forward, have to be done with real care and real attention.